Thanks, gentlelady. Now I recognize the gentleman from Virginia, Mr. Griffith, 5 minutes for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Administrator Slavitt, on Friday last, CMS issued a 5-paragraph memo on risk corridor payments for 2015. Several insurance companies are suing the administration over 2014 payments because they only collected 12.6% of what the industry requested to be made whole. In the last paragraph of the memo, your agency wrote, and I quote, "As in all cases where there is a litigation risk, we are open to discussing resolution of those claims. We are willing to begin such discussions at any time," end quote. Does CMS take the position that insurance plans are entitled to be made whole on risk corridor payments even though there's no appropriation to do so, yes or no?
I think what we've always said is that the risk corridor payments are an obligation of the federal government, and I think that,
Yes or no?
I think that statement is just standard practice.
So it's yes.
I'm sorry, can you rephrase the question for me, and I will.
I'll restate it. Does CMS take the position that insurance plans are entitled to be made whole on risk corridor payments even though there's no appropriation to do so? And I took your answer as a yes. Am I correct?
Yes, it's an obligation of the federal government.
So it's a yes. Just waiting to hear you say yes.
That's how you interpret that, yes, sure.
Seriously? All right. Do you intend to use the judgment fund to make the risk corridor payments to insurance plans? Yes or no?
I would say that further questions are, I would not be comfortable commenting on any current legal proceedings, and I'd prefer to.
You did an invitation to settlement. There's no appropriation for the funds. Are you intending to use the judgment fund? Yes or no?
Again, this is a case before justice, and so I'd be more comfortable not talking publicly.
So what you're saying is that you've turned this over to justice and you've talked to the Justice Department about the various suits?
I personally have not.
You have not. Can you get me the names by the 16th of September? Because this is a time sensitive. Can you get me the names of those people that have spoken with justice about this matter?
Sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, which insurance plans are suing or have indicated they intend to sue CMS or the United States in relationship to the risk corridor payments?
I don't have a list with me. So
and again, because it's time sensitive, can you get me a list by September 16th?
Absolutely.
I appreciate that very much. Now, you indicated you haven't spoken to justice, but do you know of anyone in your department that has discussed settlement plans with the Department of Justice?
I know that our general counsel speaks to justice regularly, so I assume that they have, but I don't know any details.
Well, I'm assuming that you authorized the memo that I quoted earlier where you created an invitation to settle. I would assume that you know that there were some discussions with justice prior to making an invitation to settle to these companies. Is that not correct?
That's correct.
That is correct. So there have been discussions by somebody with justice about how you're going to settle, and you don't know where the money's going to come from, but you assume somewhere it'll come from.
Yeah, they're representing us, so we have in fact talked to them, yes.
All right. I am curious, have you had any conversations about the lawsuits with your predecessor, who is now a top representative for the insurance industry, about the risk corridor situation, yes or no?
No.
And prior to issuing the memo, and I touched on this briefly, but I want to make sure I'm clear, prior to issuing the memo, did Justice Department approve the memo that you released on Friday, which had an invitation in the last part of it to settle the lawsuits?
I believe they reviewed the language, yes.
All right. And has CMS spoken with any insurance plan directly or indirectly about settlement of the risk corridor lawsuits? Yes or no?
CMS has had inquiries from insurance companies, which we then referred over to justice.
And do you remember which insurance companies they were?
I can get you that.
If you can get me that by September 16th, I would greatly appreciate it, because it is a time-sensitive matter, as you can imagine. I do appreciate that. With the last few seconds that I have, I'm going to switch gears a little bit. And I've heard a lot of folks talk about the uninsured